Detective Ringo and Detective Bernard were, frankly, the city's worst detectives. Their office was tiny, their desk wobbly, and their chairs squeaked with every move. Ringo's hat was too small, Bernard's tie was always crooked, and their greatest skill was making a mess of things. One fateful Tuesday, Bernard's prized triple-decker sandwich vanished from the office fridge. Bernard was devastated, pointing at the empty spot with trembling outrage. Ringo, adjusting his tiny hat, declared, "This is a job for detectives. We'll find the thief." Their investigation began. Ringo found a crumb. Bernard tasted it. "It's my sandwich," he mourned. Suspicion fell on Detective Dave next door, always seen with a suspiciously large sandwich. Peeking through the keyhole, they saw Dave munching away. "The culprit is found," Ringo whispered. Now, it was time for revenge. They sat at their desk, plotting. "We need a plan, clever and sneaky," Ringo said, grabbing a crayon. Bernard pounded the desk. "He must pay." Ideas flew, rubber chickens, whoopee cushions. Finally, they settled on their first perfect plan. It was simple, it was classic, and honestly, it was bound to go wrong. Revenge Plan Alpha. Itching powder in Dave's chair. Ringo bought the powder. Bernard giggled at the thought. They waited for Dave to leave, then Ringo crept in, Bernard on lookout. Ringo sprinkled the powder but sneezed, pink dust everywhere. Ringo was instantly itchy, dancing around the room. Bernard rushed in, got covered too, both scratched like mad, defeated by their own prank. Dave returned, saw them scratching, and just waved. Revenge Plan Alpha is a failure, Ringo sighed. Bernard nodded, too itchy to speak. Their first attempt had backfired spectacularly. They spent the afternoon scratching and regretting. The thief remained unpunished, but they were determined to try again. Days later, itching gone, they tried again. Revenge Plan Bravo, the superglue surprise. The plan glued Dave's mug so it'd stick to his hand. They waited for Dave to leave, snuck in, and Ringo slathered glue on the mug handle. But Ringo slipped, hand landing in glue, stuck to Dave's desk. Bernard tried to help, but Ringo's hand wouldn't budge. Footsteps. Dave was coming. Bernard yanked hard. Ringo broke free, but with a chunk of desk glued to his hand. They scrambled out, hiding the evidence. Dave didn't notice, but Ringo now had a wooden mitten. Revenge Plan Bravo, another disaster. The mug was untouched, the desk ruined. Ringo and Bernard hid, plotting their next move. Their revenge streak was not going well, but they refused to give up. They needed a new plan, something foolproof. Still undeterred, they launched Revenge Plan Charlie the Pigeon Predicament. The idea: cover Dave's car with birdseed, let pigeons do the rest. That evening, they poured birdseed from their window, aiming for Dave's shiny red car. A gust of wind blew the seed onto Sergeant Miller, a grumpy police officer below. Instantly, pigeons swarmed him, pecking at his uniform. Ringo and Bernard watched in horror. They slammed the window and hid under their desk. Sergeant Miller shouted threats from the street, pigeons cooing all around. Their plan had missed the mark, badly. Now, they'd angered the toughest cop in town. This was their worst failure yet. Revenge was proving dangerous. They realized they might be in real trouble. Maybe it was time to rethink their approach. But first, they had to survive the pigeons and Sergeant Miller. Hiding under their desk, Ringo and Bernard finally admitted defeat. "Revenge isn't working," Bernard whispered. Ringo agreed. "We're just making things worse." They decided on a new plan, Operation Apology. The next morning, they brought Dave a new sandwich and a fresh mug. Nervous, they knocked on his door. Dave greeted them with a smile. "We're sorry," Bernard mumbled. "We tried to get revenge, but we're terrible at it." Dave laughed. "I saw you two scratching for days. And the desk? I wondered where that piece went." He wasn't mad. He thought it was hilarious. Then he revealed he hadn't stolen the sandwich. The cleaning lady had thrown it out. Ringo and Bernard stared, realizing all their chaos was for nothing. They all burst out laughing. From then on, the three became friends. They learned talking was easier than revenge. Sometimes, they even shared lunch. Friendship, they decided, tasted much better than revenge.